teacher, and my dear friends. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Alif Anas. So, today I'm gonna deliver a really important speech about failure. Failure. So, first, what is failure? And we will understand failure. So, failure is not just a word, it is something what we usually face. Even if we put our all effort into something, the failure will happen in many situations. Especially when we're trying something new, the failure usually happens. But we have to understand failures, that why we are lacking in something, why we are doing mistakes. Failure introduces us the mistakes what we are usually doing. When we're trying something, mistakes are something usual things. But but failure is the thing that usually introduces as the mistakes what we are lacking all the time. So, by so many obstacles, by so many challenges, by so many setbacks, we can experience that how the failure is. We can understand how the failure is. And by failures, we can learn how to be more efficient than the past time, how to be more motivated, how to be more creative than the past time. Without failure, a success can't be happen. So, without any hesitation, I can say that on the path of glory, failure is just a normal thing. Then, secondly, we have to know that how failure happens and why failure happens. So, failure happens by so many obstacles, by so many issues. Even if we struggle on something new, even if put our all the effort to something, we will face failure all the time because it is unavoidable. It is unavoidable because when we are trying something new, even if we are trying something what we usually doing, we will always face failure because it is the usual thing. So failure happens by our own mistakes. So without any hesitation, I can say that failure failure makes us more efficient than the past time, but still failure but still failure teaches us how to be more efficient. Failure teaches us how to be determined, how to be patient. And if I talk about the main thing how failure happens, then it is about our mistakes. If we do something new, we will usually face mistakes we are when we are suffering from something when we are suffering from obstacles, when we are struggling with something, the failure is a usual thing. So by these things, by these topics, by these points, failure is the usual thing we usually suffer. We usually it always makes us suffered. So this is failure. And thirdly, we have to know that what are the lessons we learn from failure. So there are so many lessons we learn from failure, especially when we are trying something new. We will when we are something new, we will always face the failures, the mistakes we are always doing, the lackings of ourselves. And by this, we can make ourselves more efficient than the past time. By this, we can be more creative, we can be more motivated, and more of our. So, so if I talk about the lessons we usually learn from failure, they are self-awareness. We can learn self-awareness, especially we can learn actual patience. We can be more patient by failure. By facing the mistakes we are usually facing, we can learn patience because it is something we usually face, and the failure makes us more patient. By making so many mistakes, by struggling with so many obstacles, we can be more assured to be more efficient and more patient. Because when we are struggling with something, we will just feel that we are done. I cannot continue anymore. I am done because I am a failure. I am a loser. We will think all the time about this. We will think that I am a loser. I am they're struggling with something but is not even difficult, and which is making me a loser. But these thoughts are making us loser. The failure isn't. The failure is providing the points what we usually have to do, what we usually have to think about, what we usually have to learn. And the patience is the main thing what is provided by the failures. So now we should follow the failures. We should be more encouraged of failures, because failure doesn't happen on its own will. It happens by our mistakes, by these things, by these points we can learn how can we be more efficient. Thirdly, we should learn. So thirdly, let's fourthly, let's learn how failure builds character. Failure builds character by so many things, by so many points. Like, if we want to be a good character, if we want to be more efficient, then failure is something what we usually have to suffer from, what we usually have to face. So without any hesitation, I can say that failure is a usual thing when we are facing something, when we are trying something new. So failures are unavoidable. But now the question is, how failure builds character. Failure builds character by so many ways, by teaching us so many lessons, but are very necessary to us. It helps us to learn how to be efficient. It helps us to learn how to be patient. It helps us to learn how to be more self-aware. So, by this, I can say without any hesitation that failure builds character. Failure builds character also by improvement of ourselves. It improves our efficiency. It improves our confidence. It makes self confidence to ourselves, and failure makes us wiser. By that, we I can say without any hesitation that failure is not just a word. It is something what we usually have to face, and what we and by what we have to be more aware, and we have to be more encouraged, and we have to be more efficient. Then fifthly, let's see why how failure and success are connected. On the path of glory of ourselves, on the path of success of ourselves, failure is a usual thing. Just suppose you are a businessman, you are doing something business related things, but it is new to you because you don't know how to do business things, how to get so many how to get so many employees, um how to get the monies, how to get profits. You don't know. That's why it is new to you, and that's how failure happens to you. But so many there are so many businessmen in the market who usually ignores the failures and do their own things. By this, they will face more failures, and they will not be succeed in their life. So we have to see our failures. We have to pay attention to our failures. That's how we can be succeed in our life. Because just think, if you are facing something new, and failure happened, then if you ignore it, then you will fall behind. You will fall behind from the path of your success. But when we are paying attention to the failure, you can achieve the success. You can achieve all of the things you want. So failure is not just a word. It's our path to glory. It introduces us the mistakes and the lackings we are usually doing. So that's how I can say that failure and success are connected each other. Sixthly, I will motivate everyone that failure is not just a word. Failure is something what we usually face, what we usually have to face, because failure happens due to our lacking, due to our mistakes. It doesn't happen to its own will. It happens to our own mistakes. When we are mistaking something but we don't know what we are mistaking, failure introduces the mistakes to us. We have to pay attention to the mistakes, and we don't should be sad for the failures. We should don't be sad of the failures, and we should don't be discouraged by the failure. There are so many businessmen, there are so many persons who think that failures are just negative things. If failure happens, then our path of glory will be destroyed, will be demolished, and will be distracted. But actually, failure is something what makes the foundation of success. Failure tests our determination. Failure tests our patience, and it also teaches us how to be more efficient, and it also helps us to how to be self-aware, how to prepare for the future success. It prepares us for the future success. Failure motivates to work harder. It doesn't it doesn't discourage us. We just discourage us by ourselves, but it doesn't discourage us. It introduces the mistakes what we are usually lacking, what we usually doing. But actually, failure is but actually failure is an experience what we have to usually face to to achieve the glory, to achieve the success what is waiting for us. So, in conclusion, I'd like to say that failure is not just a word, it is something that what we usually have to face, what we usually have to suffer. But from this point, we will learn so many lessons. We will be so many lessons. It teaches us to be brave, to be self-aware, to be self-confident, and it also helps us to be more efficient and more creative than the past time. It teaches us a valuable life lesson. That's why I would like to motivate you all, and I'd like to say something to you all, that don't be discouraged by failures. Just be more attentive to the failure. Be pay attention to the failure, what that because it introduces the mistakes what you are usually lacking, what you are usually doing. Just pay attention to it, and you'll be success in your glory, and you will be success in your life. So